If it's easier, hey, we're live. Uh, Lee, we're not on holiday anymore. Lee, can you hear me? We're not on holiday anymore. I can't hear you, Lee. I think your mic's off again. Oh dear. Oh, he's talking to himself, guys. He's still on
Hello?
holiday there, guys.
Can you hear me? This is like a bad dream.
Now, they can see a cut off on my screen at the bottom there as well, by the way.
Oh yeah. Right, hang on a sec. Let me get rid of that. It's like a bad dream.
Technical problems. All hail the orb, chat. All hail the orb. All hail the orb.
I cannot believe it. Cannot believe it. Back in Stockport again.
Chat, what is going on? These technical issues, guys. Can you believe it? This is what happens when we take too much time off, you know? And Lee Korn there looks like he's come out of the Terminator 2 film with those sunglasses.
My V glasses.
No, the V glasses.
Original 1980s version.
Properly.
Hello.
Right, welcome back to the Snowflake Show Season 3, guys. Thank you. Just want to say quickly before we get into the intro stuff, thank you guys so much for your patience in the chat, guys. Really appreciate you guys' patience. We do apologise; these things do happen, but as Lee said in the chat there, we are a bit rusty, to be fair. I am your co-host Regan Elite, alongside
I'm Lee Korn.
Lee Khan.
Not Lee Khan.
Next hour, And over the next hour or so, guys, we're going to give you the latest news, views, and some good and funny stories to go with. Lee, how have you been? It's been a good couple of weeks since we've been together.
Yeah, I thought it'd be nice, relaxing, chill out, maybe do some set up new stuff, and then my dad ended up in hospital, and the work went all to pot, and it's just been so I've been handling doing both those, which is why we went on last week, which was absolutely mental. But yes, that's basically my supposed to be relaxing sabbatical. Didn't really turn out to be that way, but there you go. It's one of them things. How about you?
Well, I had, as you guys know, a bit of a mental health crisis last weekend. Not last weekend, the weekend before, as you guys know. So I obviously hit a low point in my life. So that wasn't very good. But it was what happened. What happened that time was very rare. We've talked about it many times on my channel, so we don't need to go into the details. But if you guys want to check it out, you can find it on my channel. Not Regan Elite. If you guys want to know what it's all about, we won't need to talk about it here because we don't want to be negativity all the time. We want to try and bring some positivity for you guys. We did have plans to do some formatting of the show, but guys, we just have not had time to do it. But that's all right. We'll work we'll work to change some things for the better for you guys as well. That is for sure. Did you want me to say hello to everyone in the chat while you adjust things there?
Just my camera's sort of getting a bit of the green screen.
Or you okay there?
Yeah, I'm okay. I just realised I haven't put my green screen there. That's why the big light's in the way, but just ignore.
Well, let me just quickly say hello to everyone in the chat because I know everyone's eager to hear what we got to say. Good evening, Chat Rat. Good to see you. Ginger's Giraffe, good to see you. Suzanne, hope you're well. Jow, good evening, folks. Alistair Kier, good to hope you're well. It's Larry the Cat. Vincent, good to see you there. Kendra, good evening. Kendra, hope you're well. Number 3, good to see you there, buddy. Who else have we got?
Vincent Brennan's got cheese and wine on the go.
Lefty Boater, good to see you there as well. Reason number 3. Just seeing if there's any new people. As I scroll down in the chat. Casper, good to see you there, Casper. Thanks for coming along. Seeing anybody else? Roseanne, hope you're well. Good to see you there as well. Ruth, good to see you. I hope you're well as well. And I think that's everyone. I hope I haven't missed anyone in the chat. If I do, it's Duke, good to see you. All hail the Thunderball. Thunderball? I thought it was the Orb. I didn't know it was the Thunderball. Blizzard Knights of the Realm, arise! Yes. Daily Blase, good to see you there. Don't worry, you haven't missed anything. We've just been having technical difficulties for the last 15 minutes, so you haven't missed anything. So, yeah, everyone's saying hello to everyone. So, love to the family. Yeah, there will be some. We might be hearing from Colin from Portsmouth later, possibly, as well. While Lee's been away, I've been covering plenty of stuff, obviously, on my channel, so we won't be doing notes. So if you guys want notes, you can always go onto my channel and have a look at what's been happening in the world. But it's been chaotic, hasn't it? The last couple of weeks in the world of politics, hasn't it, Lee?
Yeah. Yeah, so much I can't even remember any of it.
Colin from Portsmouth is on the line.
Hello, Colin. Sorry.
He tried to interrupt. He was trying to get in already, guys. Jesus, he's too eager, Colin, to talk to you guys. And yes, we love talking, but guys, we'll just wait just a mo for that. While Lee just double checks everything good to go for the first article, or
yeah, we need to do this. I think so. Yeah,
we do.
News. We're doing this one first. I didn't ask what we haven't done a running order as such, have we? So
we haven't done a running order, but we'll play it. We'll play it as we go, guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously the big story of the day. Just before we really dive into this, I did tweet about this as well. Regardless, this is a man, and he's trying to protect his family. Regardless of the story. I have nothing but sympathy for Hugh Edwards, because this is a private matter, and it is, in my opinion, it should not be in the public domain. this issue, and I think it's been blown well out of proportion to try and damage the credibility of the British British Broadcasting Corporation.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
So to me, this is the issue for me is Hugh Edwards. I didn't know this, but apparently he is in the public domain that he's had issues with depression, and you know, he's obviously got some personal issues that he needs to deal with and some demons. And I know his family are probably in going through a hell of a lot of pain as well as him. And all because Rupert Murdoch wants to let's get to the bottom of it. Rupert Murdoch doesn't like the BBC, so any chance he can bash the BBC, that's what he'll do. He's caused a lot of pain for other BBC presenters who had the names dragged through the mud as well over it. And it turns out so far that a few people might have been messed about, and you know, he might what he allegedly has done isn't exactly morally clean. He's not squeaky clean, but it's a private matter for him. And it's, like I said to my wife before, it's an issue between him and his wife, really. Ultimately, what happens, and you know, he just wanted to, you know, the Sun just overblew it just to make it out. There's no criminality according to the police at the moment. There's no evidence of any criminality. So,
yeah, just to add as well, the alleged victim in this story is over 18 as well.
She's 20 apparently. Or 20 or 21, yeah.
So, and this is the parents going to the Sun. Like, so this is not like the alleged victim wanted any of this or wanted this out there for the matter.
No,
this was I'm alleging what I'm about to state here. I'm alleging that Rupert Murdoch basically got in contact with the parents of the alleged victim or whatever, and basically offered them a ton of money to run with this story.
Probably not Rupert Murdoch himself, but somebody from the Sun.
People within the Sun,
yeah,
to try and to smear one of the BBC's greatest presenters.
I think. Yeah, I was listening to. Sorry, I interrupted. Then carry on. What are you saying?
No, I don't really. I'm trying to. I just feel like I just feel like this whole story has just been fabricated, and the parents of the alleged victim are being manipulated into this because they've been offered a ton of money to do it.
Well, the timeline is that apparently I heard this tonight is that they went to the police first, and the police said there's nothing we can do because there's no, you know, unless the person who's a victim comes to us, then there isn't really anything, you know, as far as from what I could gather from what I heard today. So they basically said if you'd take it up with the BBC. So they went to the BBC, and then now the BBC said, okay, we could investigate it a bit further. You know, we tried 2 attempts to get in contact with them. But they said the allegations that were put to them were different from the allegations that were printed in the Sun. So they've probably gone to the Sun and said, look, you know, we've got this. This is the issue. And the Sun's gone, rub the hands together. Fantastic. We can get the BBC here. You know, because they love bashing the BBC. And at the end of the day, somebody's career is probably on ruin now. Some people, you know, other people have been dragged through the mud, other presenters. The people involved, the girl involved is probably now, you know, it's probably made a mess of her, you know, her mental health at this particular point as well. But and nobody's come out. It's done no good. It's a non-story, isn't it? Really, like you say. It's a personal matter.
It's a non-story been blown up as a means to damage the BBC,
yeah.
And I just sympathise so much with Hugh Edwards and the victim and the families involved. I've sympathised deeply with all the BBC presenters who've had to go through this, constantly being accused on social media of saying it's them when they've had to say it's not them, and the wife. I read the statement from the wife, and it appears from the statement this was just an attempt to kind of just like to try. I don't know whether she got permission from Hugh to do this. There's no suggestions that Hugh agreed to it or not. We don't know that.
She said it was on behalf of Hugh. So from what I
didn't see that in the statement that I read, but
that's what he said on LBC. But that might have been them just
okay.
guessing on that. I don't know.
Either way, it had to come out because it was damaging. It was damaging everyone in the BBC, not just. It was damaging everyone, and his name was popping up. And I also want to just make a quick point as well, because about us on the Snowflake server, about us not wanting to talk about it. I know our server's not that big, and I know it's very unlikely that we could get in trouble, but it's best not to take any chances on any social media because people have been chased on social media for calling his name and saying it's him,
and other people.
Yes, and the reason why we did that on the Snowflake server was just to protect ourselves and to protect you guys. Yeah, that's why we did it. Okay, I know one person I'm not going to name thought we were being a bit over the top, and that's perfectly understandable from your point of view. But we are just trying to protect ourselves, protect the server, and protect you guys, because we care about this. We care about the place. We care about you guys. We don't want anybody getting in trouble whatsoever. So just covering ourselves is all we're doing. That's all we were doing on there, guys.
I think there was an issue. There's a potential there. It could, worst case, it could have got sued for a lot of money. Probably least worst case would be that they Discord shuts down the server. Those are the kind of things that we potentially could have looked at. So just to be on the safe side.
Considering I put over 500 hours into that server, I would not be a very happy bunny if that was the case. So please understand from our point of view on that matter, guys. But I don't really know if we really need to add any more to it. I mean, I don't think we need to read into it any more than what we've already said, Lee.
Yeah.
I think.
Chatty Rat says Irish media reported that she was speaking on behalf of Hugh. So maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. All Shorts is here. Hi, Marcus. You all right? Suzanne Devitt.
Oh, you're live. Yeah. It took 15 minutes, but we finally made live.
I thought we already were live, but it definitely showed us being live, and we were on the right channel. But for some reason, it just didn't go live, and I'm like, yay, and it wasn't. So Susanna says his wife probably did it so the various speculations would end because people were being wrongly accused, and with him being hospitalised for mental health, so far no crime has been charged. Yeah, exactly. I think one other person has been, as far as I'm aware, there's two other allegations against him. One is that he approached somebody online a dating app. They once he'd gone off that dating app onto some other means of communication, he revealed who he actually was. This person then said, "Oh, I'm going to out you. I'm going to reveal it publicly that you've been doing this," and he got abusive. Now, if somebody threatens to effectively blackmail you, then I imagine you would get abusive. So I can't see anything wrong in that either. The fact that he's married and he's looking on dating apps, that's the whole different thing. It's nothing illegal. So that's between him and his wife, as far as I'm concerned.
Everyone's still saying hello, everyone. Oh, hi, Chris. Good to see you there as well. I just spotted you.
Kelvin McKenzie, yeah. Alistair says I still stand with Liverpool for banning the Sun, the so-called newspaper. Yeah, I won't buy the Sun.
Yeah, what they did. Yeah, just horrible.
Yeah.
Let's. Shall we move on to a bit more interesting, another story then? Shall we? One that you dropped, that you found for us.
Which one was that?
The one you had.
Oh, that one. All right. Okay. Yeah.
From Guardian.
Everybody loves this guy's face. Everybody's going to be really pleased to see this guy.
This guy. Okay. Who's this guy? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Goes
Oh wait, I thought that
Department.
was Suella Braverman for a second. Oh,
No,
thank
no,
God it's not.
no. Well, yeah, I could have put Suella Braverman. That would have been worse, I suppose.
No. Let's not do that for our well-being, shall we not?
Goes government. Oh, do you want to read it?
Yeah, if you want to read it, go
I'll
ahead.
read it. Goes Department hands back £1.9 billion meant to tackle England's housing crisis. Department for Levelling Up Housing and Communities returning Monday to Treasury after struggling to find projects to spend it on. How do you find? How can you not find projects to spend £1.9 billion on? Goes Department is handing back £1.9 billion to the Treasury, originally meant to tackle England's housing crisis after struggling to find projects to spend it on. Department for Levelling Up Housing and Communities, DLUC, has surrendered hundreds of millions of pounds budgeted for 2022-23, including £255 million meant to fund new affordable housing and £245 million meant to improve building safety. Officials said the department was unable to spend the money, which accounts for about a third of its entire housing budget, thanks to rising interest rates and uncertainty in the housing market after the COVID-19 pandemic. But experts warn the lack of investment is likely to exacerbate the housing crisis in England, where home building is forecast to drop to its lowest level since the Second World War. Jack Shaw, a local government expert who uncovered the figures through a Freedom of Information request, said the government is experiencing significant challenges investing in housing because of a perfect storm in market conditions, but the decision to delay housing investment or withdraw it altogether as a result of lower than anticipated spending will mean fewer homes are built. Planning permission for 71,136 residential units granted in January to March 2023. So you can see the kind of the permissions gone up. I think they reduced the limitations on it, didn't they, or the requirements, and now it's sort of tailing off again. Others blame bureaucratic inefficiency for the government failing to fund the right schemes to spend the money on. Lisa Nandy, Shadow Housing Secretary, said the Conservatives have simply given up trying to solve the housing crisis that they helped create, not content with slashing house building by scrapping housing targets, stalling on renters reform, or rowing back on their promises to leaseholders. Ministers are either too incompetent or too out of touch to consider it a priority to fix dangerous buildings or build affordable new homes in the middle of a housing crisis. Gove recently called Britain's housing system broken, adding, "We desperately need more homes to bring ownership within reach of many more people." But its critics have accused him of exacerbating that crisis by dropping a mandatory target for councils to build 300,000 new homes a year, making it voluntary instead. Jesus. That decision has been cited by several councils as a reason to pause or scale down their housing plans. Analysis by the consultancy Litchfield has found new house building is expected to drop to its lowest level in decades, while 580,000 extra people are likely to find themselves homeless, sofa surfing in the homes of families or friends. Meanwhile, mortgage costs continue to rise quickly. Earlier this week, 2-year fixed-rate mortgage rates rose to the highest levels since 2008. Officials point to the funding allocated to schemes such as the Affordable Housing Programme as evidence that the government remains committed to increasing housing supply and helping more people get on the housing ladder. Spokesperson said our target delivering 200,000 homes a year remains, but you've made it voluntary, and we are fully committed to funding delivering our programmes that help us meet that target, including the £11.5 billion Affordable Homes Programme. But the figures released by the Parliament show it is not spending its full allocation. In 2022-23, the department underspent on the affordable housing programme by over £600 million. Of that, it saved £363 million in the hope of spending it this financial year, giving a further £255 million back to the Treasury.
Why?
It's
just another example of them leaving it in the hands of private.
Yeah, let the market do it. I mean, one of the things is, okay, so interest rates have gone up, so mortgages have gone up, so there's going to be fewer people getting onto the housing market because they won't be able to afford it. So house builders are just going to cut back because they'll just end up with loads of stock that they can't sell. But there's no reason why you can't build council houses or use that money for social housing. Yeah,
they don't want to build council houses, do they?
It's also given back £245 million for improving building safety after the Grenfell fire. and 1.2 billion in money allocated for Help to Buy. Help to Buy, which George Osborne launched in 2013 as a way to help more young people get on the housing ladder, offers government loans to first-time buyers.
Why? Building safety.
Excuse me.
I literally covered a video. What was it? Last week, a week before, about schools, about the structures and how dangerous they are for children, and where is the funding for them? We're talking about. I just don't understand. They literally want people to die. They literally want people to die.
They don't care,
That's
do
how
they?
I see this.
They just don't care.
I literally want people to die. That is how disgusting this is.
I mean, part of the thing about it is that the Tories have this mentality of reduced government spending. So as far as they're concerned, if they come back with a surplus at the end of the year, they can hand it back and say, "Oh, look, we've done well. We've saved all this money that we didn't spend." It's like, yeah, but that money's supposed to. You need to spend it. It's like it's there to be spent. It's not there just like, oh, try not to spend it all in one go, sort of thing. It's no, spend it because it helps the economy, helps people get in. Or social housing, it could be used for social housing. They could have given that money to councils who wanted to build new housing projects. Rather than having to take out bigger loans, high interest loans. But no, I don't know.
Feel incredibly frustrated there. Let me see what the chat
just one thing. He says these are multi-year funding programs that are being spent flexibly, meaning some money can be moved into future years depending on demand and the wider economic climate. Experts will point out that once the money's back with the Treasury, it's purely the decision for the Chancellor over what to spend it on in the future. Jeremy Hunt is already under pressure. This is it. Jeremy Hunt is already under pressure to spend extra money to raise public sector pay and to offer voters tax cuts for the next election. So if he's got some money in the bank, at the come to the next election, he can give a little tax cut, try and get people and the voters on side. Go on, sorry, the chat.
Yeah, I was just going to read some comments regarding what we've talked about regarding this. Not enough posh areas to build luxury apartments on, says Larry the Cat. 1.9 billion from housing. Well, they've got barges from they got barges from, says Verti. How are you, Verti? Good to see you there. Oldham has new bins leveling in action, says Lefty Boater.
Whoop-de-doo.
Whoop-de-doo there. The whole of the West Midlands is falling down, but you can't find anything to spend the money on, says Duke. Yep. Yeah. Gove couldn't find projects. I'm sure he looked with a blindfold on and the lights out, says Suzanne. Yep. No workers to build the houses or no Tory friends to get the contract, says Joe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Gove couldn't find his own arse in the dark room. Matt the comforter talks, says Duke. Yep, that's pretty true. Put a line of coke somewhere. I'm sure he'll find that, says Sir Larry in response to Duke.
Oh dear.
Oh god. Chatty Rat says public procurement is a slow process, and with housing there is also the planning process. I returned unspent funds when I was working, which was used by another department. Roads are great for spending money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's unfortunately not fixing the roads here.
No super chat, guys. Yeah, we don't. We only got 101 subscribers, Ruth. You need to help us get more subscribers. We need to be a member before we can get super chats, I'm afraid. So yeah, sorry there. Yeah, we're not that big, I'm afraid.
No.
But appreciate the sentiment of that comment. We really do. Jow says it would be suspicious of these return of funds. It might be a tactic to give an appearance of less deficit in the budget by having positive funds.
Yeah, I think having been able to offer a tax cut at the end of the year or sort of in the next budget before the next election, definitely.
Hugh says, good to see you, Hugh. He says, Liz Trust's local hospitals is falling down too in Kings Leon. Yeah, I know about that one. That's just, yeah. This is Machiavellian and minds thinking about it, says Jow. It's visibility to a knackered state, says Chris Fisher. Driving about it, going places, no, just tired to pass by. Perfect call's been done about it. Won't be long before we have a 7% base rate, says All Shorts.
Heading that way.
Paul Howdy or click the like button, says Larry. Yeah, click the like button. That will help it go away. Chatty Rat says shortage of brickers, roofers, chippers, plasterers, plumbers, sparks, etc. We'll put a break on housing construction. Public finances is the easy bit.
Yeah.
Random Stories History. Jenny, good to see you there.
Hi,
I hope
Jenny.
you're well.
Oh, yeah,
good to see
well.
you there.
I was watching your videos of Italy. Very good, very nice.
Ukrainian refugees housed temporarily on MS Victoria docked in Leith will have been fully and safely disembarked with all guests supported into onward accommodation, says Vincent. Hugh Edwards says donkey and cart for sale, comes with a full MOT and a full nose bag. First one that sees it will buy.
Did you just say Hugh Edwards said that?
No. Hugh, that's Hugh in the chat, not Hugh Edwards.
No, you said Hugh Edwards.
Did I say Hugh Edwards?
Yeah. Good job his name's out there now, otherwise he'd be like, don't mention his name. Oh.
Plenty of houses can be refurnished as number 3. See what happens when a school building collapses? Well, do you know what the worst thing about that number 3 is? That some of the buildings are some of the kids are still going to school in these buildings. That's the worst thing. That's the most disgusting thing about it.
We're just over 50% likes to viewers, so we could do with a few more likes, please. That would help.
Just Massive Crash, think 2008 on steroids. Oof.
Yeah.
Just imagine the housing bubble as a pile of books. You can stack them higher and higher until it crashes, says Jal. Yeah. Yeah. It's not good, guys. It's not good, that's for sure. Which is one of the reasons why I've given up on buying a home, which is a shame as well.
Where did you want to go next?
Let's go to the other one from The Guardian that I had.
Okay, I'll let you read this one.
Yeah. More for world news than just UK, yeah, to be fair. I think we need to know about it. Number of people going hungry has risen by 122 million since 2019, the UN says. COVID pandemic and Ukraine war add to widespread crisis, with 1 in 9 people in the world facing severe food insecurities in 2022. The number of people going hungry in the world has risen by 122 million to 735 million since 2019 because of the COVID-19 pandemic and the war in Ukraine, the UN has said. If the current trend continues, almost 600 million people will be chronically undernourished by 2030. About 119 billion more than neither of these events had happened, a new report had found. While the number of people facing hunger globally have stabilized after increased sharpening from 2019 to 2020, hunger is still on the rise in Western Asia, the Caribbean, and across Africa, according to reports released by the Food and Agriculture Organization, the FAO, and 4 other UN bodies on Wednesday. Recovery from the global pandemic has been uneven, and the war in Ukraine has had affected diets, said Kui Gogu, the FAO Director General. This is the new normal, where climate change, conflict, and economic stability are pushing those on the margins and further from safety. Russia's invasion of Ukraine, a major producer of wheat, mayonnaise, and sunflower oil, has led to a steep rise in food prices globally. And while the FAO's food price index has fallen, the impacts are still being felt. The 2023 edition of the annual State of Food Security and Nutrition in the World report shows a world gripped by a widespread of urgent food crisis. In 2022, an estimated 900 million people, or 11.3% of the global population, were suffering from severe food insecurities, defined as when a person has run out of food or has gone an entire day without eating during the year. Nearly 1 in 3 people, 2.4 billion, or 29.6% of the world's populations, did not have constant access to food, the report found. Millions of children will continue to be now malnourished in 2022. 45 million children were under 5 were suffering from wasting, the deadliest form of malnutrition, and 148 million children at the same age has stunted growth and development. Maximo Tortido, chief economics of the FAO, the main author of the report, warned that although climate crisis has not affected hunger levels in 2022 as much as the pandemic and the war in Ukraine, it will have a severe impact over time. Tortido says the global food system will be plagued by significant risk and uncertainties, and it was very vulnerable. Very few countries in the world to export cereal, for example, and if anything was to happen to them in terms of a climate shock, food prices would rise, he said. Climate change is a constant problem and constant vulnerability of the system because of how concentrated exporting production countries are, he said. Yeah, so pretty much, guys, we're running out of food. Is the message from this, and I've covered videos on this about climate change and stuff similar to this, and yeah, I still believe that the climate is the bigger threat than the war in Ukraine and the aftermath of COVID-19 pandemic. If I'm all honesty, guys, because as the temperatures continue to rise, as you guys know, it's harder to produce crops in Europe and the rest of the world if those temperatures continue to rise in those certain countries, making it impossible for the food to grow, which means that we will have less food. And that means it's going to bump up food prices, which means it's going to be harder for people to get their hands on food. And it's already hard enough for poorer nations to get their hands on food. It is going to be a continuous spiral unless we act to change the world for the better. Is there anything you want to add on that, Lee? Because it's something I've talked about for a while, climate.
I think I was listening to Graham Hughes this morning, describing, we're talking about the 1.5%, 1.5 degree increase, and if you put it into terms of energy, I think it was the equivalent of was it a nuclear bomb going off every day since the Magna Carta. Every second of every minute of every hour. Since the signing of the Magna Carta, the Hiroshima nuclear atomic bomb. That's when you put it in those. That is a scary amount of an increase in heat energy. And we're going through El Nino. They're talking about 45-degree heat at some places. It's just going to be it's going to be mental this year.
Last year in Europe, 61,000 people were killed during the summer 2020, who Heath study showed. Covered that in a short video. The world recorded its hottest ever day on Monday. I think that was a couple as well. The world as well. There was, I think I remember it covering in India. I think it hit one of its hottest ever days, and a while back, and it was so hot that obviously people couldn't literally get they just be able to step outside. It was just because in India, obviously the way a lot of things, it's just it's just much worse over there. Obviously they don't have the I would say the structures that some of the West have, I would say. Yeah, I think it was two weeks ago I had a video about countries are drowning, climate experts urge for a causal rethink. But obviously in terms of food, this is obviously also in terms of food, guys. It's going to get worse before it gets better. I think it's the best way to put it.
Michelle says, again, the Gulf Stream stopped for the first time ever, folks. If you don't know it, it warms up Europe in the winter. It stops while Lisbon is at the same latitude as New York. Portugal is baking because the warm weather from Africa comes in and spreads around. The Atlantic wind is not pushing it out, and the rest of Europe suffers. So the way it works, going from the other side, is the Gulf Stream brings hot air from the Gulf of Mexico up the east Atlantic coast of America, across the Atlantic, and brings it back down. Sorry, I'm going the other way around. Goes up that way and brings it back down into Europe. If that fails in the winter, then that's pretty bad, because that's what gives Europe, most Western Europe, its cooler, warmer climate in the winter. Very mild climate, I should say. Otherwise, you're looking at sort of Russian temperatures, Canadian temperatures, that sort of thing. Yeah, he says we're at the same latitude as Canada, Ontario, and it gets pretty parky there in winter, even with climate change, global warming. Yeah, New York gets really cold in the winter, and if that's in the same latitude as Lisbon in Portugal, that is not good for Lisbon in Portugal or the rest of Europe. Yeah. Yeah.
I literally have my blinds down all day just to keep cool. Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, that's what I do when we have hot days here. Just close. We have to close the curtains. You can't just like even sometimes even closing the window instead of opening it is better because you're keeping that heat out, keeping that temperature out completely as opposed to bringing that humidity into the home. Verti said we had 37 today, dry hot air from the Sahara.
Yeah,
that's not good. There were temperatures as high as I've read as high as 40, 48 in Spain last couple of days. I've heard, so it's it's pretty brutal, and not good, but we we've got to keep talking about these things. Sometimes we don't like to talk about them, but I also think it's important to highlight.
Yeah.
But have we got something to brighten the day, Lee?
Do you want something? Yeah. Okay. Well, so yeah, let me get this back. I'm gonna have to play it and mute it because he can't. It's as short, so it loops. So I have to because it started playing a second ago.
Yeah. All Short says we use shutters in France.
Yeah, in France, we use shutters. In the summer, and in the winter it keeps the heat in. In the summer, it basically stops the heat coming in. But we don't seem to. They find it very bizarre that we don't use shutters in the UK.
Number 3 says the fresh water from the melting ice caps is a differently density than the salt water, which pushes the Gulf Stream downwards prematurely. Scotland much more pleasant at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Should we see something a bit more uplifting?
Yes. Let's turn it around, guys.
Okay. Right. Oh, let me make sure I turn the sound on, not the music.
Another great day. I've been in Hertfordshire, I've been in Cambridgeshire, I've been in Suffolk, and we've been talking about everything on people's minds, tackling the cost of living, how we realise the benefits of Brexit, and crucially, how we beat Keir Starmer's Labour at the next election. It's been particularly good at this last stop to be talking about rural issues. I represent one of the most rural parts of the country, so we're talking a lot about farming and rural communities and what I'm going to do as Prime Minister to make this place the best place in the world to farm and to increase our food security. So, thank you for your support.
Darling, there's a really big Rishi Sunak in the garden. Where do we keep the spray?
What gets me, right? So just let me go back to that, because what gets me is look at the way they film him when they're filming Rishi Sunak. He's like, the camera's so high
because of the way the background is.
No, but because he's so small, the camera's like slightly high. It's kind of like at forehead level, and he makes his the top of his body look tall, really big, and he's like the bottom of his body like really small. So it's really weird, especially when he does all this with his hands.
I've been in Cambridgeshire.
Charles says, "Get the gun, Martha."
Get the big fly swat. The electric one.
Dude. There's a troll in our garden.
Oh, sorry. Oh, there you go. So,
stop the mug, stop the boat, stop the short trousers. Says Kia. Did you hear about the mug, Lee?
Yeah. What is this? He gave President Biden a mug.
Go buy the mug. He gave him a mug when they met. That's when the whole "stop the mug" came along, as opposed to just "stop the boots."
I think Graham Hughes was saying that he gave him like a £10 bottle of wine or something. He said it looked like something he got off a lottery. Well, yeah. Oh man. Local tombola. Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, that was glorious, Scoopton. That was glorious. Hope you're well. Good to see you there.
Right.
Rishi refusing his NI speech. Best place to do. Wide angle lens, says All Shorts. That was a wide angle lens. Cameraman on his knees to film him, says Kit. Yes, he was. He's on his knees.
Yeah.
You want me to get down one knee, Prime Minister? Yes, do that.
Yeah. We'll get a low angle. He's still like above him, towering above him on his knees.
Yeah,
Prime miniature. Yeah. Right then. So we've done that one. We've done that one. We've done that one.
So I want to cover a bit of not
The Al Jazeera one.
cover- yeah.
Okay.
So it's a live update one. So obviously we've been talking. Obviously, there's the NATO summit. I think it's ended today, isn't it? There was only a 2-day summit. So it's just a bit of an update on the.
Just before you start, I was just going to say Rishi Sunak must love President Zelensky because I think he's actually shorter than Rishi Sunak.
I think Sunak is looking at something he shouldn't be looking at, if I'm honest. From that picture.
He's like, yeah, look, I'm taller than this guy.
No, that's not what he's looking at.
Oh dear. Right.
Is it still there? Yeah, it's still there. Okay, so the last update was 2 hours ago.
All right. Okay. This 30 minutes ago. Right,
do you need to refresh?
I refreshed it. Well, this is from when we came up. I can refresh it.
Okay.
I'll tell you what.
I'll just read some of the bits then. So Biden says he's confident the US will be able to sell F-16s to Turkey. Okay. So it looks like it's doing some military. It looks like the US are trying to sweeten some kind of deal with Turkey. If you guys know, obviously, Turkey have said that Sweden cannot join NATO unless there's progress for Turkey to join in NATO.
Oh, it's alive, yeah. It's alive.
Apparently. Which is, not NATO, the EU or something along those lines, isn't there?
I think they're going to be further reopen negotiations, aren't they, on customs unions and stuff like that.
Biden made the comments to reporters that as he left the NATO summit in Lithuania, Turkey, which had been the main stumbling block to Sweden's path to NATO, which has been seeking to buy the F-16 fighter jets and modernising kits for the existing warplanes. Biden vows NATO unity in the face of Putin's craven lust for power in Ukraine. He accused Putin of behaving a craven lust for power and pledged that the US-led NATO alliance would not falter in supporting Ukraine against Russian aggression. Speaking at the end of the 2-day meeting of NATO leaders in Vilnius, I never get that word right.
Vilnius.
Biden, thank you. Biden praised the people of Lithuania and hailed the addition of Finland to the alliance and the administration soon of its neighbour Sweden. Biden also said Putin badly underestimated the resolve of the military alliance. NATO is stronger, more energized, and yes, more united than ever in its history. Indeed, more vital to our shared future. It didn't happen by accident. It was inevitable, Biden said. My God, he looks very weird, Sunak, standing there with them. It just feels wrong about him standing there with all those world leaders.
It's like bring your son to work day, isn't it? That's what it looks like.
It does feel a little bit like that, doesn't it, guys? I'm just going.
Do you reckon he shops at like a kid's store for his clothes?
Probably. Just seeing if there's any other information. So obviously, Zelensky was there, asking for more weapons and support. Obviously, they did stop short of promising Ukraine a place in NATO until during the war, for obvious reasons. That was to be expected. But there is some division in Ukraine joining after the war, which I don't understand why. The vast majority are. I think there was 1 or 2 nations, I could be wrong, who are still a bit like keen not to bring them in because of how it will be more aggressive on the aggression from Russia. But I think things will be Russia will be very different if Russia will be a very different country if they don't win this war against Ukraine. So Ukraine are going to get some ATACM missiles.
Yeah.
So Ukraine, they're also going to get cluster bombs from the US as well, which is extremely controversial. If you guys haven't already heard about that as well.
I don't think Britain's keen on that, are they?
Yeah, no, and they're not. Western military aid will depend on the battlefield situation, says Zelensky. Last report from the battlefield, the last I reported update was obviously they were making advancements in Bakhmut.
Yeah.
Whether I know that last I've seen, they haven't obviously taken it, but they're definitely making advancements in there. But it's a lot slower than reported. I'm just gonna have a look to see.
One of the issues is the Russians have had months to bed in, knowing that there's going to be a counter-attack, so they've had plenty of time to build defences and mine places. They reckon there's probably millions of mines all over Ukraine now. well, particularly the occupied areas of Ukraine.
Russia's Putin has no plans to speak to Turkey's Erdogan yet, says the Kremlin, because Turkey's kind of the middle ground between the West and the East, really, isn't he?
Yeah.
So from that point of view,
Did you see this one? The UK not Amazon for weapons Ukraine, says Defence Secretary. He said the Kiev should express more gratitude to its allies. People,
I'm sure they are very as gratitude.
Yeah,
he's got like there are some things that Russia I'm pretty sure I covered in if it's today or yesterday. I'm pretty sure that Zelensky's got some things that he has to guarantee, when this is all over for the West and NATO back. So it's not like that Ukraine are going to have to pay back at some point. But right now, it's a case of their survival. Right now, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I mean, Zelensky was asked about it, and he said, "Yeah, we're very grateful to Britain and all our allies for what they're doing." But it's just the way he put it, as though like, "Oh, you could be more grateful." It's like, well, I don't know. Just apparently, Rishi Sunak even backed away from that one and said, "No, I disagree on it." So, yeah. I am not.
Yes,
Amazon.
that's most of the things. I think it's pretty much just just to kind of keeping this support for Ukraine. I think it was more than anything. I think they're and obviously looking to secure Sweden's membership into NATO as well. Do you want to just see what's the chat saying at the moment?
Yeah, Daily. Sorry. Vincent Brennan says that picture reminds you of the sketch social classes in the UK with John Cleese, Ronnie B, and Ronnie Barker, and Ronnie Corbett. That picture, yeah. But I think Rishi Sunak, he's in that sketch, he would be the working class. But Rishi Sunak definitely isn't the working class. In fact, he doesn't know anybody who's working class, does he? He admitted some of his friends are working class. I'm not working class. Yeah, whereas I think Biden.
There's another problem with that. There's another problem with that picture, Lee.
What's that?
There's no women in that picture.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, that's another problem as well, guys. We don't see enough. How many times do we see a G7 leader summit, and how many women are standing in it?
Yeah, Liz Truss would have been there if you think about it. If she'd stayed on, what a shame.
Yeah, not enough women at the top.
I think yeah. I'm just glad we haven't got Liz Truss there anyway. Put it that way.
Oh, good God! No, we're not going to count her, guys. We're not counting her. she's
still former Prime Minister, Liz Truss. Oh, that was one I didn't mention that. She's created a new group called. I heard it this morning.
Yes.
The Growth Commission. Now, I know that she has lots of links to.
Oh yes, Merkel, of course, Suzanne. Very, very good point.
So, yes, Merkel's not there anymore, though, is she?
My sincere apologies. How could I forget her? What an absolute amazing German Chancellor.
I wonder whether the Growth Commission is a Tufton Street thing because she has links to Tufton Street, like the IEA and others like that. I'm just going to do a quick search.
Yeah, well, Lee just has a quick look. Just going to see too much Russian money in the Tory party still, says Jow. If Rishi was any taller, he'd look like a pin micro head, says you. Zelensky must show gratefulness, says Wally. He's talking, obviously, Wally, he's Dog Wally, obviously. Winter offensive vibes, says Scoopton. Zero VAT on children's cloth suits, Rishi. Oh, God. Division, says Duke. Clear the lobby. Bring your kid to work. Yep. Bring your kid to work day. Giles says, not much smaller than me, but my shoulders can't fit a doorway. I've been there. Rishi is more shallow than. No, I'm not saying that. Sunak is just Weasley and slime, not that small, says Jow. Good night, Verti. I'm sorry I didn't see you.
Good night, Verti.
That's why he's rich. That's why he's rich. He gives nothing away. He donated that wine to a local charity, Loving Geezer, says Sir Larry. Yeah, sure did. Yup in USA think tanks too, I think. Yeah, probably on tanks actually. Just while he's looking, I'm just seeing if there's any other stuff. Obviously, Kremlin's. I think I've got a short video saying that the Kremlin are not happy with the decision for Russia to close their ties with Ukraine for obvious reasons. Zelensky said he will talk to Biden about long-range missiles in Ukraine as well. UK says new security arrangements are no substitute for Ukraine's NATO membership. Biggest risk in Ukraine's war is Putin winning, says Stockenberg. Ukraine is now closer to NATO than ever before, says Stockenberg. Not everyone is as close as others that I've read. I was listening to The Rest is Politics, and I think it's France and the US aren't so keen to push them into NATO as opposed to the other nations. Like, they do want them to join, but they're not like as keen to push for it as they are.
Yeah, the obvious issue being that they're at war at the moment, so you can't really technically to join the NATO right now. The rest of NATO would technically have to come to their aid and invade and fight the Russians in Ukraine. So that's why that's the issue at the moment. But
shall we move away from news and politics?
Just a second. Hugh says, "What's that top Lee? Huddersfield Town? No, it is not Huddersfield Town. It's the mighty Stockport County." Look,
I've never heard of them.
Stockport.
It's all right. He's got his football. I've got my wrestling shirt. That's all right. So you're all in good company if you like your football and you like your wrestling.
This is my early. I got this today. It's my early birthday present. So from my wife.
So
yeah. Right. What are we doing now then?
One of the two funny videos. Funny. Let's do some funny videos.
Funny video. I've only got one other funny video.
You've got one. One of them. Well, they're both. I dropped two funny stories from them.
Oh, the stories. Right. Okay.
Pick whichever one.
Yeah, I'll pick that one.
Okay.
Have you read it first?
Which one?
Either of them.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Oh, you don't need to read this one. Just play the video.
Oh, right. Okay.
Okay. I'll just the headline is yeah. So the headline is just play the clip. Don't worry.
He's playing.
Yeah. So this is the bizarre moment. A furry feline burgles a laundrette dressed as a bunny onesie. This is absolutely 100% true. I'll read a bit of it as you guys are waiting for the.
There he is.
There he is. CCTV footage shows the Winning Wash laundromat in Quincy, Illinois, left owners and authorities baffled. The clip shows a thief of a full bunny suit going through drawers and placing items in a rucksack. The police department has launched an appeal to the public's help to identify the furry feline. The Quincy Police Department posted this on social media saying, "File this one under, you can't make this stuff up." In the early mornings of July the 6th, an individual dressed in a bunny suit broke into Winners Wash laundromat at 2338 Springs. Officer Holtman is investigating this burglary and would like your help identifying this very feline. Bizarrely, onesies has also been used by thieves to various degrees of success a number of times here in the UK. In 2018, Mark Walser stole an Asda delivery van while wearing a balaclava and a one-time piece embellished with glow-in-the-dark stairs in November. However, when he fled and sped off, leading police on the chase, the onesie was so bright he was spotted by a police helicopter. And in 2014, a thief donned a Homer Simpson onesie to rob a store in Derbyshire.
Yeah.
So it's a different. So yeah, onesies, guys.
Yeah.
That's how you get away with it.
That's how you get away with it.
Did you want to pull up the other one quickly?
Yeah, just looking.
I know we're a bit over the time.
Ever since he started doing the crack the Easter Bunny has on a life of crime, says Zhao. Even selling his eggs on the street. Oh, very funny.
Times are hard now.
Times are hard, yeah. Cost of living crisis hits the Easter Bunny as well. Right.
So, this one's a couple of weeks old, but this still baffles me. Man tries to nick ATM by subsequently ramming stolen crane into the side of a co-op building. You might have heard this around somewhere, guys. Maybe can you spot the delicate handiwork of the criminal who attempted to steal an ATM from a wall of West Sussex co-op this morning? Maybe it's not quite Ocean's 11, but the heist scene is what greeted police officers at Barman at 2:15 a.m. They had originally been called out to reports that a crane had been stolen from a nearby builder's yard. After searching the area, they found the vehicle in question being drove through a supermarket wall. The driver, a 43-year-old man from Ashford and Middlesex, decided to make a run for it on foot, but didn't get particularly far. He was arrested on suspicion of theft and a motor vehicle and criminal damage, but remains in custody. Unfortunately, the wall of the cart wasn't the only thing impacted by the would-be robber's actions. The Southern Rail Depot is located in the same building, and damage led directly to rail misery for a number of passengers.
Oh, God.
Ah, dear. Yeah, so he didn't just, So the car is part of the same building, so it sits next to the train depot, where train drivers and train colleagues collect their equipment and sign on each morning to staff Southern train services. Yeah, I just think the thing that kind of baffles me is just the picture, and I'm just thinking, like, you're going to steal an ATM, and your first thought is, how am I going to get this money? Or maybe it took my card from me. You know what? There's a building site not far away. I'm going to steal this crane, and I'm going to bash into it, and I'm going to get my money back, or get my credit card back.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard of these type of things before, where they nick a like JCB or something, smash through the wall, grab. But what they tend to do is then they will literally take the ATM. But if you're on your own and all you got is a JCB, you can do a bit of an easy thing to spot a JCB driving down the street with an ATM attached to the end of it. You're not going to get very far, are you, in a police chase? So. Yeah, I think usually they do it in mob handy. There's like several of them who do it, and so they can get into the ATM. Hugh says, pointless stealing an ATM. It automatically sprays the money with permanent dye. I know. If you see Hugh, he's purple. Giles says this has happened here. Actually, use a bulldozer to rip the ATM and load it up on a lorry. Yeah, that's what they usually do. They stick it in either in a van or a lorry or whatever. That's why, that's why ATMs here have a security system that takes cash out. Like Hugh says, it basically sprays it. Yeah.
As the gear says, Hugh, what are you saying? Question mark.
Scoopnum says, how do you subtly ram a crane into anything?
Unfortunately, there's no video footage to verify how you do that, but that's the line. Oh dear.
Well, this random Scottish history says something. I got a substantial onesie collection and pretty much live in them when I'm out of uniform, even in this heat. Must be how I get away with it so much. Or get away with so much.
I mean, a onesie in the heat. Oh, how, Jenny? How?
Yeah.
I mean, I know people love their onesie, but when it's hot, like, do you put like I don't know, hot water bottles and you fill it up with like ice cold water and ice cubes or something inside the onesie with you to keep yourself cool or something? Like.
Oh dear.
Just saying there. Jackie Rat says there was an ATM gang in Northern Ireland a few years back. It was cross-border initiative, and they caused mayhem in Ring of Ireland, or Republic and Northern Ireland until they caught JCB for exaggeration in a truck for a getaway. Yeah.
Well, this guy thought he'd do it just in one. I mean, maybe he thought he could smash into the ATM with the JCB to get the money, but well, he didn't get very far. Okay. Right. Are we? We started a bit late, didn't we? So we're only about an hour.
We did start a bit late. There is a good news story. There's not much to the story. It's just a very, very short story.
Just let me get rid of
from the Good News Network. It's just a nice little story to end it, guys. We do apologise for the late running, but this is a nice touch one. So, a lonely birthday boy receives big surprise when a convoy of 40 truckers come to parade him through the town. How awesome is this? Oliver Johnson turned 8 years old yesterday and he's home in New Zealand. Lonely by nature, his mother just had the idea of what might cheer him up. Young Oliver is obsessed with trucks. He knows the name of every truck manufacturer, every trucking company. And his mum, Catherine, offered $50 to anyone who would come and give him a ride in their big rig for his big day. Catherine hoping one truck driver would take up the offer. But instead, Barry Hart, owner of Hart Holders Trucking, decided to take it 2 steps further and organise a whole convoy. When it almost got out of hand with 40 truck drivers signing up to be part of Oliver Johnson's convoy. Every one of these truckers are doing this, and there are probably 10 trucks at least that come from Auckland. These guys, it will cost them $500, $600 to get the trucks down here, do their thing, and go away. And not one of them is asking for anything. Hart told the New Zealand Heartland. So you see there all the trucks driving up, and there's a cake. I think there's like a cake truck driving cake in that picture as well.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Oh, yeah, like a monster truck on it.
There, which is pretty cool. So many signed up to Hart, they had to organise the convoy like a parade and call authorities to help manage traffic. He said he saw the boy who felt the need for some friends around him and he couldn't do any less. Catherine has heard from other members of the community who donated a birthday cake to wish for their best wishes for their son. I'd like to say a massive thank you from the bottom of my heart and my husband's heart for giving up your time. She said, can't get over the community, how wonderful everyone's been. Like lovely little story. I like that, to get this kid who loves trucks, knows everything about them, and he gets something like that for his 8th birthday. That's absolutely cool thing. Lovely stuff. So I hope you guys like that story.
Lovely. What a lovely story. Right.
Right, so we're at the end, are we, Lee? Did you want to have a look at the chat before I do the usual bits?
Yeah. I did have a picture I wanted to show. I think Marcus, I sent this to Marcus the other day. He showed it on his stream. What have I done with
did
it?
he? Oh, what are you up to?
I don't know. You go through the chat. I'll just dig it out.
Okay. Well, while he's up to pressing buttons again, what's he saying? Keir says, "You naughty." Jal says, "Good for them to give the kids some love." Yeah, it's a lovely, lovely story. In New Zealand, it must not be too hard to be alone. Everyone is different, to be fair, isn't it? Really. It's not a snowflake show without some technical glitches, guys, says Kia. Yeah, we had too many today. Best way to raise money from an ATM, charge it with a sharp spike on the front of the JCB into it, then grab the money from the cassette through the 6-inch 15cm hole HTH. Hope this helps, says Hugh. I'm glad you're telling us all this information, because I'm sure someone's going to use this for all the right reasons.
I love how specific Hugh is with his description of what to do.
Hugh could be a locksmith for all you know, guys.
It could be, or a safe breaker.
Suzanne says, "Are you confessing random Scottish history? What is she confessing?" She was confessing the onesies. Yeah. Perhaps this is a cry for help, says, I'm afraid. Yeah, he could have been. He could have been under the influence of alcohol or something. That the guy who did the ATM thing. Yeah, possibly.
Well, I mean, he must be desperate for money if he's. Well, mind you, I don't know. Could be. Mm-hmm. The organised gangs obviously are slightly different there. Obviously, out to do as many as they can in a short period of time.
Nobody can hear you in space, says Hugh. That's true. Nobody can hear you in space.
Mm-hmm.
Scoopton says Batman. Okay, I don't know where Batman comes into it, but okay. I can teach you to bake, but not how to raid ATMs, says Jal. Okay. Well, I wouldn't mind learning how to bake. So I'm glad I know. If I need some cooking advice, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Have you got the picture then?
Yeah. Here we go. This is
Oh my god, the resemblance is exactly the same.
It's uncanny, isn't it? You've
seen
never seen
glasses, even the nose. The nose is the exact same, guys.
Have you ever seen Rishi Sunak and Mr. Potato Head in the same room together at the same time? Because I haven't.
Ooh.
I think that's telling.
You have seen them together in the same.
No,
room.
I haven't.
I thought they were the same person now.
No, I think they are the same person because I've never seen them together in the same room at the same time. So maybe they are the same person, one and the same. There you go. I'll leave that image with you.
Oh, okay. Well, Vincent says the best way to raise money, join the Tories. Yes, Yes, that is
Yeah,
the best way to
become
do
a
it.
Tory MP or
Yeah.
Tory donor. Because all you have to do is like give £100,000 and you get into the House of Lords and you get loads of free
Free stuff.
free contracts and things like that. Government
Free
contracts.
contracts, all that kind of jazz. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Right. Do we do outro bits?
Yeah.
Yes. Are we there? Yes. Guys, just want to say, for the 21 who have been pretty much here, 21 watching, guys, thank you so much for first and foremost, guys. Thank you so much for waiting while we had the technical issues. Really appreciate
apologies.
it. Not the way we wanted to start the show, but we finally got one out. And cross fingers, next week's show will be a lot better, a lot prepared. Cross fingers, we will just cross fingers, guys. It will all be a lot more smoother. These things happen. Yeah, just guys, thank you guys so much for supporting. If you can, hit the like button on your way out. If you can, guys, if you can also share this video across the social media platforms, as it always helps us there. And if you haven't already, click the subscribe button just so as the bell notification icon, so you'll be notified of when. I can't click yet. When we go live. So also we also have a Discord community we talked about earlier today called the Snowflake Server, and it's free to join. You guys can join us there as well. I should put a link in the description so you guys should know where to join. That would be more helpful, wouldn't it? I'm not very on the ball today, am I? So I will cheekily do one now for you guys as I'm talking. Bloop, bloop, bloop. So there you go. There's a link here. If you guys want to join our server, we'll be in the after chat shortly, guys. Once we've wrapped up the show, so you guys can join us in there. Also, if you haven't already, I've got my own channel. If you guys want to join me over there, every Monday I'm doing the Snowflakes Viewpoint. I cover the latest news and views every Monday, 9 o'clock UK time as well. So you guys can always come and hang out with me on there as well. If you guys want to as well. The link for my channel is in the description if you guys want to subscribe there as well. Have I missed anything, Lee?
I don't think so. Did we put a link in? We put a link in for the
I have put a link for the Discord. I will put another link in just before we wrap up.
Right, okay, yeah, I just see it. So I was just laughing because you said all the best, Regan and Lee, and all any other dodgy tips you want, I'm always here to help.
Okay, good to know. That's good to know.
Thanks,
Yeah,
you. We'll remember that.
Yeah.
So thanks guys for watching. Just everybody sort of saying like, thanks Zhao, thanks Number 3, thanks Alistair, Vincent, Chatty Rat, Casper Northern, Rosine, Zhao, Lefty Boater, Scoopnum, and anybody else I've missed, Ben Shaw, Regan and Lee.
We have one more video, guys. Don't leave just yet. We got one more
Susanna.
video. We got the man from Portsmouth to talk to before we go as well.
Yeah.
So don't. So very important. We speak to him before we head out the door as well.
Yeah. Thanks all for coming and sticking with us. Back next week, hopefully a bit more organised. Sorry, we had a bit of a mare today, so that's all on me. Didn't get here till half 8, so that's why. But better organised next week, hopefully. Right,
Yes,
take care, guys.
Guys.
And Colin from Portsmouth is here to take us out.
Yeah. Yes, he will see us out, guys. Take care, and we'll see you guys very, very soon.
Colin from Portsmouth is on the line. Hello, Colin.
Disgusted, Anthony. Absolutely disgusted with what Elon Musk has done to Twitter.
Well, I didn't know you were on Twitter, Colin.
Oh, I go on to see what people like me are thinking so that I can think the same thing. But
Right.
It's gone massively downhill since that bloke took over.
I thought you'd be in your element, Colin, with this new
Everyone
Twitter.
on there agrees with me now. It's terrible.
Right.
I post something provocative that I haven't thought through and don't believe anyway, and instead of people pointing out that I'm a bigot, I get a load of morons nodding their heads. What kind of social media platform's that?
But isn't it about owning the libs, Colin?
But once you've owned them and they've left to masturbate or whatever
Mastodon.
it is...
Mastodon.
Yeah, whatever. Then you've got nothing more to eat, have you? If you don't grow wheat, Anthony, you don't have bread in the winter. And what Elon Musk has done has bought $44 billion worth of Hovis White Sliced and said, here you are, lads, stick that in the fridge and when it's gone, it's gone.
Who puts bread in the
I
fridge?
am begging you, Musk, put Twitter back to how it was. If I wanted to hear people that agreed with me, I'd stay at my local.
Oh, you're banned
And
from your local.
Also
Yeah.
begging you, Elon Musk, Unban me from my local.
Yeah.
Anyway, Anthony, thanks for having me on. Love to the family.
Love to the family, Colin. Love to the family.
I like Sam Back 69 though. She can stay.
I think she might be a porn bot, Colin.
That's a shame. We've had some lovely chats.
If you've got more than enough
Oh,
money coming
God.
in each month, feel
Oh,
free.
wait. Sorry. Oh, that was so funny. Right. Thanks for coming, guys.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Take care.
We'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.